Have you ever met a man who seems like he carries 1,000 stories behind his eyes, but tells you nothing? He's calm, focused, and completely in control, like he's lived through storms but doesn't need to talk about them. He's not loud. He doesn't beg for attention. And yet, people are drawn to him. That's the Sigma male, the man who walks his own path, stays in his own lane, and holds his past close to his chest. You won't hear him share war stories at the table or cry about what he's been through. Not because he's cold, but because he's already made peace with his past. But what exactly are these men hiding from the world? Before we break it all down, welcome back to Alpha Man Cave. Let's uncover 8 powerful truths Sigma males keep hidden about their past. 1. They survived a rough childhood, but never let it define them. Many Sigma males grew up in environments that weren't stable. Maybe their family moved constantly. Maybe money was always tight. Or maybe their home was filled with yelling, fighting, and stress. Whatever the case, their childhood wasn't smooth. It wasn't safe. But you'd never know it by looking at them today. Sigma males rarely talk about their early years because they've learned not to let that pain control their identity. They don't want to be seen as the guy with a sad past. They want to be seen as the man who built himself anyway. They learned how to depend on themselves early, how to adapt fast, how to stay calm in chaos. Those skills became their secret weapons, but they don't need to tell the world how they got them. 2. They've cut off people they once loved, and carried the pain silently. Sigma males know that not everyone who walks with you deserves to stay in your life forever. They've had people they deeply cared about, close friends, family members, or mentors, who turned out to be toxic, manipulative, or damaging. And when that time came, they didn't argue. They didn't beg. They walked away. But walking away from someone who meant everything to you leaves a scar. That's why they don't talk about it. They believe in peace over drama, even if it hurts. They understand that cutting ties isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of self-respect. Sigma males would rather suffer in silence than let anyone think they're looking for sympathy. 3. They're not the same man they were 5 years ago, and that's the point. One thing that sets Sigma males apart is their constant evolution. They don't stay stuck in one version of themselves. Maybe 5 years ago they were into sports, then they got into tech. Maybe they once chased popularity, but now they chase purpose. They're not afraid to change directions completely. That's why they don't talk much about who they used to be, because that person is gone. They don't want others judging them based on their past interests, mistakes, or identity. To a Sigma, life is about upgrading. So, if you knew him 5 years ago, you probably don't know him at all today. 4. They once had a big dream, and had the courage to walk away from it. Sigma males are ambitious. They go after what they want. But here's the twist. If a dream no longer fits who they're becoming, they let it go. Maybe they trained for years to be an athlete, musician, or academic. But somewhere along the journey, they realized, this isn't who I want to be anymore. Most people stay stuck chasing the same dream out of fear. Fear of wasting time. Fear of judgment. Sigma males don't play that game. They don't view letting go as failure. They view it as self-awareness. They pivot, even if it costs them time, money, or effort, because living in alignment matters more than clinging to an outdated dream. 5. They were once invisible, but that solitude built their strength. Before they had confidence and direction, Sigma males often lived in the background. They weren't the loud kid in class. They weren't the popular one in the group. Sometimes they were completely overlooked, by teachers, peers, even family. But instead of letting that destroy them, they learned to be okay in their own company. Being invisible taught them how to survive without applause. They stopped needing validation. They stopped chasing attention. And slowly they became strong, not because people hyped them up, but because they found value in themselves. They don't talk about this phase because they don't want people to see them as the kid no one saw. That's not their story anymore. 6. They faced a major crisis, alone, and came out stronger. Every Sigma male has faced at least one crisis that could have broken him. It could have been financial ruin, deep heartbreak, job loss, or even a personal breakdown. But instead of posting about it or calling for help, he handled it privately. He may have been falling apart, but no one ever saw it. And that's why you'll never hear him brag about how he overcame it. To the Sigma, resilience isn't about showing off. It's about knowing you did what needed to be done, and didn't need a crowd to clap for you. 7. They once idolized someone, who ended up letting them down. Sigma males don't just decide to trust no one, they learn it the hard way. At some point they looked up to someone, a parent, a coach, a leader, maybe even a celebrity. They believed this person had all the answers. Until reality hit. They saw the flaws, the lies, the weakness behind the image. That disappointment hit deep. Since then, they stopped looking for heroes, and started becoming their own. They rarely talk about this betrayal because it still stings. But it's also the moment they decided, I'll never put anyone on a pedestal again. 8. They gained wisdom from pain, but never needed to show it off. There are lessons that books can't teach, only experience can. Sigma males have gone through some life-altering moments, moments that completely changed how they see the world. And instead of becoming bitter, they became better. But they don't go around giving motivational speeches or wearing their pain as a badge. They've turned those hard-earned lessons into a quiet inner strength. They know things most people don't, not because they read it, but because they lived it. And they don't need anyone to know what they've survived, because their actions already show who they are. So why do Sigma males hide these parts of their past? Simple. They refuse to be defined by where they've been. They understand that just because something hurt them, doesn't mean it has to hold them. Every trial, every heartbreak, every lesson lives inside them, quietly fueling their journey. And that's what makes a Sigma male different. Did this video hit home for you? Let us know in the comments. Which of these truths do you connect with? And if you want more insight into how Sigma males think, live, and win, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and stick around with us here at Alpha Man Cave. There's more coming your way to help you unlock your full potential. Until next time, stay quiet, stay strong, and keep building in silence.